Good morning, Saints man, with another week in the life of. And yeah, good week in the end. A few van niggles, which we've hopefully cured. Well, we have hopefully cured. Um, yeah, I'll come to them. And also have one road rage, which yeah, I'll come to as well. Anyway, Monday. First of all, fuel prices are going up. Mine are anyway. My cheapest fuel was 115, well, 114.9, but that's 115 to me, so it come out at just under about 138, which isn't a lot cheaper than what the fuel is. So yeah, a little bit act off with that, but sometimes they go down. I'm going to phone both my fuel card people. I've got two fuel cards, and phone them and ask them what's going on this week. But we'll start Monday. I had a job Wellingborough to Reading, which was nice and easy. It was a early-ish start. It was 7:30 pickup. That was for James, who gives me a fair bit of work, and he's always been good to me. And we got to Reading, got that delivered, and then I picked up a small job from Didcot, which is not far from Reading, north of Reading, to Oxford. Um, and that was picking up some from a residential address, going to a company. Again, nice and easy. And then I got another job from Chipping Norton up to Milton Keynes. So it was a really nice, it flowed Monday. And I hit target exactly on the money, what I aim for a day, which is 200 over the three jobs. And it took me 8 hours. If every day was like that, it'd be nice. Because it weren't too many miles. I did 218 miles in total and just pool around and nothing heavy. I think the heaviest thing I carried was a box with laptops in. So we got that. Anyway, I got a job Tuesday already, and that was from Northampton going up to Birmingham. And it was near I always say East Midlands Airport, near Birmingham Airport. We done that, and then it took a while. Birmingham, there is a lot of jobs. There's thousands of drivers around Birmingham. There really are a lot of drivers. But we did get a job, and it was from Solihull, and it went down to Watford to Warner Brothers to the studios, which, if anyone's been to, is huge. But if you get the right building, the right workshop number on you before you get there, it gives you half a chance, which I did, and I got there and found it quite easy. And I managed to pick another job up, and it was a small job, and it was from St Albans, and it went over to Barnet, and it was going to a residential address in Barnet from a roofing supplier, and that was okay. But then I couldn't get nothing home from there, so I drove home. Didn't hit target, just short, but still an okay day. And again, it was only 8.5 hours, so suits me nice. Wednesday, I picked a job up and I got two drops. It was a strange one. I had to pick. I picked up the night before in Northampton. One of the drops, one of the pickups. Let's get this right. And then I had to go to Stafford, which is obviously north of Birmingham, for the next pickup. Residential addresses these are, just a small item. And then I had to take them down to another studios in Shinfield, which is Reading, just south of Reading on the M4. Big studios. So again, I'm at film studios, TV studios, whatever. And that one, yep, I got a contact for that one, and that one went okay. On the way down, I had a warning come on the van that a dipped beam was had gone. Okay, so I got to Shinfield. I looked, turned the lights on, looked, and sure enough, one of the bulbs had gone, the dip beam. But I was in Shinfield, so I thought I'll just find the nearest Halfords because I ain't changed it. I've got spare bulbs, but I don't think I've got the bulb that I needed. So I went to Halfords in Reading, which was only 4 miles away, and got the guys there, and they sorted it. And I found out something interesting. To get to the bulb, you don't open the bonnet; you go through the wheel arch, and you take a like a square off. It's a cover. It unclips. You put your hand through. It would have took me ages, and it was a dirty job. And these guys They know exactly where it was. And I decided to change both bulbs, even though the left-hand bulb was still okay. I changed them in a pair because if one's gone, there's a good chance the other's on the way out. So I changed them as a pair. They give me the one that still works, that was working. They changed them both, sorted. It took about 35, 40 minutes, and it was what it is. They charged me 25 quid, including fitting, which I thought was pretty decent for two headlight bulbs. And they fitted it. I didn't have to touch nothing. And it was great. Easy. And I managed to get another little job, and it was a small job, and it was from Finch Hampstead. Never been there, probably won't go there again. And it was going to Radley, and it was for just two small tins of paint. And Finch Hampstead is again south of Reading, and I went to Radley, which is Abingdon, just near Abingdon, and delivered that and got nothing else. It was a good day. That was a good day. That got me back on target. Now we come to Thursday. Thursday was a day just hacked me. I'd got a job booked. It wasn't an early pickup. It was a 10 o'clock pickup. And it was from just outside Northampton, Brixworth, and it was going down to Hayes. Not the best place to go, near Heathrow, but I got good money for it. Worth doing. So we picked up Brixworth, going down the motorway. I got just short of Toddington, and I got a warning light come on the van. Low pressure on my front right tyre. Goes through the menu. Oh, it come up with it, and it had dropped. They run about 350, 370 when they're warmed up, and this had dropped 20. How it had dropped, how quick, I don't know. I pulled into Toddington. Thought, if it's going to go, I don't want to be on a motorway. Pulled into Toddington. Sure enough, their air thing don't work. Their compressor, which would have done a quick job. I've got a little compressor that puts air in through the cigarette lighter. Put it in, pumped the tyre up again, had a listen. I couldn't see. I rolled the van to see if there was a nail or a screw or something. Couldn't see nothing. Decided I'll pump it up and I'll just go. I was on a job that needed to be there as well. I've got to go to a global forwarding depot in London with this case that was going abroad. So I thought, let's go for it. Anyway, come out of Toddington, and I kept the menu on so I could see what was happening. And it was losing it five. It went up to 340, and it was losing it 5, going down. But it was doing it slow. So I drove, just kept going. And I got to Global forwarding in Hayes, about 2 miles out of Heathrow. Probably not that mile out of Heathrow. Got into their depot and found the guy, and he was actually taking it abroad himself. This guy in the Global, he was going with it on the plane. I'd got the documents, the case, so that was sorted. I decided I've got to get the tyre sorted. So Global wanted you out their yard because they got other trucks coming in. So I went out the yard. I thought, let's pump it up again because it had gone down. It was down to 170. So there was something not right at all. I thought I'll go and find it. And I went on a side street because it was the driver's side. I thought I'm going to pump it up with mine and I'm going to find a local tyre place that can sort it out. So I started pumping it up with mine, and I parked on the opposite side of what you would normally park. So where I'm pumping it up on the path. So I've parked, the right hand side of the road, not the left hand side where you normally park. But it's a side street, nice out the way. And I put the gauge on, and sure enough, I'm going to pump it up. And while I'm pumping it up, I thought I'll be on the phone. So I'm putting the cap on, and I heard like a noise. It's like a bang. I thought, oh God, what's that? Didn't think much. I thought, don't know what that was. Didn't hear much of it. And then I had someone come across the road, and he says, "Oh, did did you hear that?" And I was still looking. What the hell was it? And a bloody delivery on these fucking mopeds had gone past my van and whacked my mirror on the passenger side. This side street, he said a car was going that way, and instead of him, he clattered me fucking mirror. So I went round, and it's a member of the public who says he clattered your mirror. He's a bloke on a moped, mate. I went, what? Goes down. Luckily, the mirror had folded in. He scraped the mirror. I don't know what he hit it with. Whether he hit it with his mirror or he got these bloody great boxes on his back. I don't know what he hit it with. I didn't even see him because by the time I gone round, I was at the end, near the end of this side road. He'd gone. Mm. He's left a big scratch on the side. And luckily, I rubbed it. Just fucking piss. Really, really hacked me off. Really hacked me off. Good job I didn't catch a little scrote. I tell you. So anyway, I carried on pumping it, and I found a tyre. There's a quick fit, and it was only half a mile away. There was three together. I thought, let's go to quick fit, bigger place, probably hopefully get straight in, and they'll sort it. Goes to quick fit, and they said the famous thing. I said, I've got a tyre, I've got a problem with it. Can you sort it? Yep, yep. We can fit you in Saturday. I went, no, I'm a courier. I come from up north. I want to get it sorted. No, we can still fit you in Saturday. I went, nah, forget it. And a guy in there said, who was a customer, said, there is a tyre place over there and there's one round there. He says, and I usually use them, but I've got a company car and the account is with Quick Fit, so I have to come here. I went, great. So I went round to the one round the corner, literally 50 yards round the corner, and the guy says, we can do it. And they did it in the canopy bits. And an Asian guy, lovely bloke. And they took the tyre off, and it took a while. The valve, the pin in the valve was faulty, the seal of the valve, and the beading had gone. So it was losing it quite rapidly. So he said, we'll put the gel on it and we'll get it as best as we can. So they did it and put it on. Cash job. I paid them. I got cash on me. I paid 25 quid. I was very happy because I got my van back on the road. It took about an hour. Had a nice chat with them. Nice guys. So that was done. But yeah, still pissed off with a ped. They call them peds, pedalo, whatever they call it. Not peds, well, mopeds. Yeah, just fucking yeah. Hey ho. So that was done, and I managed to get another job straight away. And to get out of Hayes is great. And it was from Ickenham. Ickenham. It's 6 miles north of Hayes, and it was going to Leighton Buzzard. And it was two little sheets of steel from a fabricating place. And I did that job. Lovely. And I decided to go home. So it was a rubbish day money. Only took 130 quid all day. I'd had someone whack me mirror. Look, he didn't break the mirror, it just folded it in. But that was the bang when it folded it in. Amazed it didn't crack the mirror or anything, but it didn't. But yeah, not good. Anyway, rant over. And I got a job for Friday. I offered James again. So I started the week with James and I finished with James. And Friday I got a long job with James. And it was going to a place that no one will know. It was Pencanda, and it was going to a mast, a telecoms mast. They was upgrading to 5G. I picked it up in Wellingborough. I took it all the way. It's Carmarthen, past Swansea to Carmarthen, up into the valleys, I presume. Found it with what 3 words? Thank God for that, because it was middle of a field, and they took it off, and that was one bag of nut bolts that they hadn't took before. And James had paid enough, so I got my fuel home. So I drove home. So Friday was a really good day, really good day's money. I drove home. It was a long drive home. That it took me 4 hours to get there. It took me nearly 5.5, 6 hours because M5 big accident. So I had to go through. Where did I go through? Oh, and I got my last van from there and all. South of Tewkesbury, around Tewkesbury area, we had to come off and not Penrith. Jesus, I should know this. Anyway, I had to go through a place where I got the Doblo from, and it'll come to me sometime. And then I had to go up to Evesham and round that way, Stratford, and everyone was going that way because the M5 was knackered. And I got to Coventry, down the M45, and as I come off at junction 17 onto the M1, there'd have been an accident. Two uh, BMW X5s had crashed into each other, and we had got stuck there for over half an hour as well. So that was a long day, but it was a good week still. It was a really good week. Yeah, the last day, Friday, sort of made up for Thursday, and I was over target. I did 1,400 miles, 1,460 miles. My driving was 36 and 3/4 hours, so I was doing 8-hour drives virtually every day. Obviously, Friday I did nearly just 9.5 hours. Um, And then duty time was 46 hours. Again, a long Friday. Sort of made that up to, more than what it probably would have been. I did 1,030 quid, just over 1,000. Added the VAT, 1236. Take off 123.60, 10% for the flat rate. Comes out at £1,112.40p. And that comes out £222 a day, which is fine. That's fine. I'd rather have a shorter Friday and finish a little bit earlier on the Friday, but I hadn't generated enough income during the week. So it worked out the Friday, got me back up on target. We got a job for Monday. Oh, the tyre on the way back from Friday started losing pressure again, but not as rapidly, very slowly. But by the time I got home, instead of being 370, 360, it was 260. So yesterday, obviously today's Sunday, I forgot to say that, Sunday at Harper State. Yesterday, I went to my tyre place in Moulton Park. Guys are fantastic. You just turn up though. They don't do bookings unless you're doing a full 4 wheels, 4 tyres, tracking and all that. You can book it in. But apart from that, it's turn up. Got there at 9 o'clock and they sorted the tyre out and they said the beading had gone because they hadn't cleaned the tyre and got it all nice and smooth. And then you put the bead in and all that, whatever you do. But he's done it anyway. And it was neat and it cost me 25 quid again. But I got the tyre sorted. Also, no, the spare wheel on my Mercedes, it's a really weird way of getting it off. You've got a long ratchet in your toolkit. You put it in a hole, you undo it, and it winds the tyre down from underneath. So I'm going to take that out today. We had a look at it, and the tyre's fine, but I want to clean it all up. And it's lost the cover underneath. It never had a cover underneath when I bought it. So I'm going to get a cover for that just to keep it cleaner. So yeah, it was a pretty good week. So yesterday we got that sorted yesterday morning. Watched the rugby yesterday afternoon, so it was a good win for England. And then we went out for a Chinese meal last night, a buffet meal, which I didn't eat a lot because I'm really trying to get my diabetes under control. I've had a really good week this week. Also lost 4 pounds in weight. Having smoothies. I have smoothies for breakfast. I'm eating fruit and lots of chicken and salady stuff. So yeah, I've cut my diet right back, and I'm going to continue. So hopefully we'll get my diabetes right back down. But yeah, so hope you all had a good week. I've got to start tomorrow. I've got an early start tomorrow. I'm picking up in Wolverton at between 6 and 6:30 in the morning, and I'm going down to Plymouth, and that's my day's money. Uh, I'll definitely want something back from there. I haven't got enough to drive home, so I want something back or another job to top it up. We could be tramping tomorrow night, or if we've got enough money in it, we'll find a hotel cheap. Hotels are cheaper now because the kids are all back at school, so it's more than likely I'll be doing hotels, depending on the temperature. I always look at the temperature, what it's going to be like in the night, and if it drops down to sort of 6, 7, 8 degrees or something like that, I'm more tempted to go for the hotel. But rambled on for a lot this week, but van issues. See another moped that eats my van. Well, won't be tied. Anyway, have a great Sunday, and I'll speak next week.